Good evening, good people. Sorry I'm late. Well, really, I'm not late, but I had a crazy day today, waiting on a few people to pull up. My guess it says your device is not connected. Poochie, Tachanisha McClary, I see you if you're still there in the building. Gonna give people some time to pull up. Welcome to No Anonymity TV. I am super tired. I had a crazy day, stressful day. As you see, today's topic is marriage still worth it? Gonna give some people some time to get up in here. Let's see. Let me let him know. Says he's on, but I don't hear him. Give him a minute to pull up for a second. There you go. I see you, my brother. Can you hear me? Give folks some time to get up in here. See nobody in the live chat yet. Damon, I still can't hear you, brother. Is your mic on? Anyway, we're gonna get it going anyway. It'll be pre-recorded for those that come in late. They come in late. You know how I do around this time. I always do my cologne of the evening. It's not, you don't have to really talk about the expensive colognes all the time. Like I said, I got a bunch of expensive cologne, and some of that stuff don't smell right to me. It's all about body chemistry. But today we're gonna go with another gem from or Jewel, as my New York folks say, from Banana Republic. It's called Grassland. It's the Grasslands. You can see that. Let's get this lighting right. There you go. Grassland from Banana Republic. Come in a nice bottle. You can get it for about $10. Somebody was on, they clicked off. That's okay. Nice green bottle, got a nice smell to it. Nice distribution. It's a good smell. Grassland, Banana Republic. Okay. Anyway, hope I don't have to cancel this live. Nobody's showing up tonight. I know it's the holidays and everything. This platform really don't work without engagement from the people. I had a crazy day, tired, didn't get much sleep. My sleep was interrupted. Damn it, my brother, I still can't hear you. I see your little picture down there, but I don't hear you. Let me see. Let me see what's going on. Got a bunch of people in there. Oh, he said he can't get the mix to work. All right, that's all right, brother. I appreciate you for even trying, man. Nobody's still in the chat, but that's okay. Who is this private chat? Let me see something. Who's sending me a private chat? Okay. That's my man. All right. All right. Well, like I said, this show don't really work without engagement from people, from the audience. Nobody's in the chat. Maybe I'll try it again tomorrow. Maybe it'll be more successful. We've been on 6 minutes. You know, people shopping, getting ready for Christmas, and doing all that stuff. So it's all good. It was a thank you for the invite. The view show. Looking forward to seeing your retirement year. Official typical. Okay. So we got one. Let me see if that Damon. Yeah, I still can't hear you, man. You must got an Android, man. You gotta get your iPhone, brother. But anyway, I'll just touch on this for a little bit. Marriage. Read over a couple statistics that I pulled up about the institution of marriage. And on a side note, the Catholic Church just went ahead and gave the green light. It's probably because I'm on a sale. Okay, you team iPhone. Okay, that should work then. You on the iPhone, that should work. As I'm on a MacBook, everything I do is Apple. So I don't know where the disconnect is, but it's all good, brother. I appreciate you. You can always call the number if you want to. Let me run that number across the screen. Give me a second. You can always call that number if you want to call in. But what I was saying, the Catholic Church just gave the green light for same-sex marriage. I don't have no, shout out to the LGBTQ community. Whatever you do is what you do. But they just gave the green light for that. I found that interesting. You got any thoughts or opinions on that? Call in. I would love to hear it. I don't want to really go into these facts until I have an audience because there's some good stuff on here, some really good stuff on here. So I'm going to hold off on that and just kick the Willy Bubble, just kick my bullshit while I'm on here. Friday. Hope y'all enjoying your evening. If you can hear me, put a thumbs up in the chat if you can hear me. Let me see. Let me ask my brother right there calling. Oh, man.
What's good, bro?
What's good, my brother? You was having some problems getting on, huh?
Yeah, I just called too. When I called, it went directly to voicemail also.
Oh, okay. I don't know what's going on, man. I know it's raining like crazy out here.
Oh, okay.
Storming like a mug. We don't really get that kind of weather. It's past monsoon season, but how you doing?
All right, and you?
I'm good. Thought I had more people in the chat, but I get it. It's getting close to the holidays or whatever, so it's all good.
Yeah, everybody probably out shopping and doing all that, just like you said.
Yeah, wasting their money.
Right, last minute too, and wasting money.
Heck yeah. Yeah, but we go back. I'm glad you called in. I remember we just talking because I don't want to give these good. I got some good information on here. I don't want to give it without, no engagement. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Shoot, but I was reminiscing, man. You used to throw some crazy parties, some of the dopest parties, man.
Oh, the Tree My Verse.
Yeah.
I had them all over the place.
Yeah, man.
Yeah.
Shit, if you know, you know. A lot of people were scared to come on Tremont, so yeah,
Right.
them
Right.
parties was rocking. Whatever happened to your man Fox?
Fox passed away. He passed away last year.
Oh man.
Yeah, Fox passed away, man.
Damn.
Cancer.
Oh man. Cool dude, man. Cool dude. Sheesh.
Mm-hmm.
That's crazy. Kango, everybody doing good? All your brothers and sisters doing good?
Yeah, everybody doing good, just chilling. Yeah, can't go down here where I'm at.
Oh, you in the A, right?
Yeah.
Okay. How long you been out of the Rock?
I only been out for a few months, about 6 months now.
Oh, okay. How you liking it?
Yeah, I mean, this ain't my cup of tea down here, so it's gonna be short lived. I'm gonna be getting up out of here. So
Really? What's going? What you don't like? Is too slow?
nah, I mean,
Yeah. Yeah.
I mean, it's like it's people fake everywhere, but down here it's extra fake. Everybody want to be movie stars and actors, and everybody putting on images that's not them. And I'm not a fan of that at all.
Right. Yeah. You know how that go.
Right.
Shoot.
So I ain't got time for it. And, I mean, it's all good. I'm just I'm handling business and everything down here right now, but then I'm head out, get on up out of here. Nothing holding me. It's just me. So, man, I'm free to do whatever. So
that's right. Shoot.
I'm be all over the place, man.
Yeah. Man, okay. Where you think you're gonna head to next?
I'll probably go to West Palm Beach for like 2 months, and then from there, probably head over to Houston.
Oh, okay. Yeah. I was gonna move to Houston, man. It get muggy there though. Like here where I'm at, it's that dry heat. It get hot down here, but it's mostly that dry heat. Like, but where you at in the South and all that, it's super muggy, sticky.
Right, it is.
What? Yeah, I was reading this article earlier. Man, Rochester. Jeez. Shout out to everybody in the Rock. Yeah, they can have that, bro. I'm trying to get my kids to move out of Rochester. They don't want to see the world. They don't want to see nothing different, though. I don't understand.
Man, the same thing with mine. It's that, Rochester got that hold. A lot of people wait till they get older to get up out of it.
Yeah.
But I told my sons, because my sons, they're young. They're 21, 25. So I told them, I got to get up out of here, bro.
Yeah. My oldest son, 32. My youngest son, he's 22. I'm like, just go do something, man.
Right.
You can always come back to the, where you started at, but
right.
Ain't nothing going on up there, man. But violence.
That's it.
I mean, don't get me wrong, it's violence everywhere because they go down out here. They be jeez. But I don't know nobody. Everything that happened to somebody in the Rock, I either know them or I know somebody that know them. You know what I'm saying? So it affects you a little differently.
Exactly. And like you said, like out here, you don't know nobody, so
Yeah, you're like, oh, another.
There, you don't know nobody. You out the way. That's between them or whatever they got going on.
Yeah, you like, hey man, that's y'all. Shoot. Yeah, but I was reading an Instagram article earlier, man. The Catholic Church just approved same-sex marriage.
Yeah, of course. They was gonna follow. It started from the Obama era. Once Obama lit up the White House with the rainbow flag and all that set standards across the world. And it was only so long before the Catholic Church fall into the trap.
Yeah.
The United States, so everything that happens, the United States set a precedence around the world, and everybody else tend to follow.
Right. Yeah.
If it's North Korea, China, Turkey, Iran, those countries don't follow the United States, but the majority of the other countries, they follow the United States.
Right. Yeah. I don't know if it was because you think they was losing members or what?
Yeah, well, of course. Oh, that too, definitely. Not only losing members, I wouldn't really necessarily say that was the main factor, because if you think about it, a lot of the members in the Catholic Church was already gay. They was just in the closet gay. You know what I mean? See, a lot of people was already there. They was just in the closet. Okay. But once Obama opened that gate, and it started spreading across the world, a lot of people started like, oh, okay, it's okay for me to come out the closet. It's crazy because you have the LGBT, the alphabet people, I call them, and the gay people, whatever. You have them coming out the closet, and you have a lot of the church people running in the closet.
Ooh, that's deep. Mm.
You know what I mean? So let me hide what I believe in God and cover it up, because I don't want the world to look at me a certain way, so they going in the closet. And then you have the gay people who's in the closet are coming out the closet, happy, celebrating.
Yeah. Do you think that once they removed like religion and stuff from the schools, it took a turn from the worst? Not even religion, but just the acceptance and the acknowledgement of a higher power. You think things took a turn for the worse? Because when we was going to school, we had Pledge of Allegiance and all that. I don't think they do that anymore.
So to answer your question, most definitely, and yeah, so way back in the 1970s, they was already fighting to take the Bible out of schools. Because if you take it back prior to that, the Bible was in the school. The Bible was mandatory in schools of all religions or all books or whatever people want to call it. The Bible was in the schools, and they used to actually read in schools in America. They used to read Bible scriptures before class and all that, pray and everything.
Right.
And after the 1970s, that's when the homosexual agenda been out long time ago, but it wasn't surface level. So after the 1970s, that's when the homosexual agenda started pushing to remove the Bible and everything out of schools, because with the belief of the Bible in the schools take away the homosexual agenda, because the Bible speaks against that. So the homosexual agenda had to get the Bibles out the way first before pushing their agenda on the schools. And if you pay attention, now that the agenda is strong in America and around the world, but now that it's strong mostly in America, you see a lot of gay books and homosexual books pushed in the schools. So they removed the Bible and they pushed the homosexual books in the schools, the drag queen books. And now, instead of having assemblies talking about Jesus and Virgin Mary and all that, now they're having assemblies with drag queens showing up, reading to the kids. Men dressed like women reading books to the little kids, with the homosexual agenda being pushed. They're trying to indoctrinate the kids. And that's big. And if you pay attention, even the Bible talk about why marriages are, it says in the last days that they will forbid to marry. And it's taking place right now, because if you have the gay and the homosexual agenda strong in any environment, it's going to take away marriage. But see, the homosexual agenda was smart and cunning the way they did it. They brought it in, but they didn't just directly take away marriage. They pushed a reform of marriage called with the title gay marriage, inclusive marriage. In other words, in marriage, we should include everybody.
Right.
If you think about it, in America, way back, the homosexual agenda was behind the woman's rights. Because with the woman's right, it says that we're all equal. Women are equal to men, and we're all equal, which we all know that's not even the truth. A lot of people don't like to accept the fact, but men and women are not equal.
You know what? Listen, I concur. I mean, women can do what we do, but not to the same capacity. I was having this conversation with a friend a week back, and she said, "How so?" I'm like, and just in terms of strength, built making things, just in a lot of different areas. Even with that swimmer, this mother skunker was ranked number 300, right?
Yep.
Soon as he said, "I want to be a female," my man he's world champ now.
Right.
Like, come on, man.
Yep. You know what's funny about that? My son, when they started pushing that, my son was in high school in the basketball team. He was one of the stars on the basketball team. I was joking, but I was dead serious. I told my son, I said, "Yo, if this was back in the 80s and I was going to school and they want to play games like this," I said, me and all my boys would have been like, "Yo, forget that. We about to go on the girls' team. We gonna go on the girls' basketball team and dominate it and get a straight up a full ride scholarship."
Hey, I always tell my best friend, I say, "Hey man, I'm thinking about, I ain't talking bad about the LGBT community, because I got cousins like that. I got friends. It's all good. We just having a conversation. Me and you. That's what I'm saying. We not bashing nobody or none of that stuff. So don't try to get me canceled." But I always tell my boy, I said, "Hey man, you know what? I should turn pro as a fighter, a heavyweight female fighter, make 100 million, knock all these bras out, and chill.
That's it. Listen. Just, but this is my argument, and I always say this, to the LGBT community. We love everybody. We love them too. I have those in my family. I have an aunt who transformed or switched over or whatever. I have a niece who turned over, and we have that in our families and everything.
Right.
No disrespect to them or anything, but I'm not that, and that's not me. So, I had one of them ask me, do you have a problem, with me? I said no. And he said, why can't you accept me for who I am? I said, your question is, why can't I accept you for who you are? I said, that's not the question that we should be discussing. I said, the question is, why can't you accept you for who you were?
Whoa.
That's the question. If you can't accept you for who you were, how can you expect anybody to accept you for who you are?
But we gonna go there tonight. Fuck it, it's Friday. I'm gonna play devil's advocate for a minute. I have a cousin, and she used to always want to play with us. Like, we playing shoot 'em up, bust 'em up. Remember, throw the ball, whoever catches you running, trying to score and shit. I'm talking about on the hard grass. Not like these sissies. They gotta have pads on just to play fucking flag football. We was playing tackle on the concrete in the church parking lot. But she always used to want to hang out with us. And she was like one of the dudes, like one of us. So I think in some cases, somebody could be born in the wrong assignment physically, but mentally they something else. I don't know. What you think about that?
Right. So I agree with that. And right now they call it mental health. Remember, back when we was growing up, they didn't have the mental health push or the mental health agenda. Now everything is mental health. If a person have a cold the wrong way, we got to get them to a mental health counselor. You know what I mean? When we was growing up, we didn't have that.
Right.
We just had, he in the smart bus, he in the basement. He go to school in the basement.
Right.
It wasn't called mental health.
Right. You can't even say those words.
Right. I think. Right. So I think it's definitely a mental health issue when somebody, when they're born and they have a man body, but they have the tendencies of a female. I really think it's a mental health thing. You speak spiritually, it's definitely a spiritual issue. But just speaking naturally, I believe it's a mind thing and a mental health thing. Everything starts in our mind.
Right.
Because if you think about it, every person that want to transform and turn into something else, it started in their mind. Because their body, listen, if you're a dude and you got a penis and you believe you're a female, we know that's a mental issue, period. You can't work around that because a mental issue means it's a mind issue or a thought issue. So it's all in the thought process. That's like us. We think normally and naturally.
Right.
We have a man body and we think like a man and act like a man. But if we thought like a female, that means we have a mental issue because it's coming from our mind. You understand what I'm saying?
Right.
But that's one thing they don't want to say or admit, because if they have to admit reality that it's a mental issue, then it can take away from it being a legal marriage and a legal thing taking place, a real belief, but they want to beat around the truth. And if you think about it, the whole situation, it's a total lie, because if it's not a lie, right? When we were growing up, it was wrong to tell a lie, but now a dude can say he a woman and they want it to be the truth. And and I was laughing. I remember Joe Biden was talking about that. And I was like, okay, so if Joe Biden is putting this stuff into law, that if a person feel like they're a woman and they're a man, they can be whatever they feel like. I want to walk up in a bank and I want to be like, listen, man, I feel rich. You know what I mean?
Right.
You know what I mean? Like, yo, if you can, I forgot what they call it. Identify. Okay. I want to walk up in a bank and be like, I identify as rich. So my bank account, y'all got to put a few mil in my bank account because I identify as a rich man in this bank.
Right.
So load up my bank account. Because if a man can say he identify as a woman, then and it's legal and you making that law, why can't everybody else equally identify as whatever they want to be?
Right.
Why can't I identify as a professor even if I don't have a degree? Give me my doctor's degree. I identify as a doctor.
That's
You understand what I'm saying?
yeah. I mean, I think they opened Pandora's box when they did that, especially with, you know, if I want to go to the airport and say, hey man, I feel like a fucking pilot today. Let me fly. That should be my right. Let me. I don't have a lick of training, nothing, but I inside I feel like a pilot. Let me fly this thing. But you know, when we was coming up, they wasn't. You know, I never learned about sex till I was probably like, shit, 11, maybe 10 or 11, or even seeing it. You know, they wasn't talking about it in schools. Like we had gay teachers in school. I didn't know they was gay. You know, we had a couple gay friends. You didn't know they was gay. I'm not saying people got to be in the closet, but they wasn't just pushing it out like so everybody could see it or whatever. I just didn't understand the thing with wanting everybody to know what you do in the bedroom. Like that's crazy to me.
Right.
You know, what you do in the bedroom is just what you do in the bedroom. Why, you know, I never saw any heterosexual parades or none of that shit. So I just didn't really understand what was going on. I would love to hear from somebody call in and explain because, you know, the plight that Black America has taken doesn't, and people always want to compare what they went through with the struggle of Black America. And it should just be so crazy, man. Like, you can't compare civil rights with gay rights. Two different things.
You can't.
It's two different things.
Man, so here's what I say, and I had this conversation with some homosexual people before, and they said it's the same thing. They said we go through the same thing that the Black people went through. I said, here's the one problem that you have with your theory. Okay, I said I'm very intelligent, college educated, everything. I understand theory and I understand research.
Right.
When you dig into it and you try to do the comparison of those two, here's the problem. I said, some of y'all say you was born gay, but there's no evidence because the problem with saying that you was born gay, my question to you, I always ask them is, when did you realize you were gay? Because when you was a baby, you didn't have no knowledge or recollection of what you are because you didn't even know. You didn't even know a stove was hot until you touched it when you was a baby. You didn't even know the difference between hot and cold water when you was a baby until you got in it or touched it. So you didn't have the knowledge that you was gay when you was a baby. So you couldn't have had the knowledge that you were born gay. Who told you you was born gay? Because when you was a baby and you was born, you didn't even know you. Somebody else, your parents or an older person who was already of age to the knowledge of understanding had to tell you what you were when you was a baby. So who told you you was born gay? They can't answer that question. The other thing is, when you're born Black, you can't undo it. Black is Black. You was born Black, and Black is not a choice. Being gay is a choice. Or homosexual or transgender, whatever. That's a mind thing. In your mind, you made a decision to feel that way or to be that way. But being Black, we don't make a decision to feel this way or to be this way. We just are this way.
Right.
It's just no way out of it. We could dye our face, our hair, we could do whatever. It still won't take away us being Black. Michael Jackson tried to dye bleach his whole body, but it still didn't take away the fact that he was Black. So that's one of the problems that they have with that agenda, of saying, oh, we should have rights and we should. Okay, we all have rights.
Right.
And the Black struggle, Black people was getting hung from trees. I'm yet to hear of a gay person who got hung on a tree for being gay. You don't hear that. You hear them being bashed by a small percentage. Even if you look at the percentage of the gay people that get bashed, it's a very small percentage, especially nowadays, because everywhere you go, everybody gay. So there's not a lot of bashing going on. They can't really argue that.
Right.
Black people are systemically being hurt right up until this day. But gay people, I want to ask gay people, explain to us how you facing systemic bashing for being gay.
The link is in the chat.
Black, we still systemically racially discriminated against just for being black.
Right. The link is in the chat. Y'all want to pull up and explain? You more than welcome. Everybody welcome over here. Um, I was reading some interesting facts about marriage, man. You know, prior to like 1965, and I'm just talking about from the black perspective, we were married at a much larger rate than we are now. Like much larger. I'm talking about the margin was crazy.
Mm-hmm.
Now, you know, they say 64% of men get married, you know, compared to 52% of women who get married. So, you know,
I can tell you why. the reason that is, back in the 1960s, those were still the days of the black struggle. And when you had the black struggle, it forced the black men and black women to stick together, because the black women and the black men had to stick together because they were in survival mode because of the white people.
Mm-hmm.
You understand what I'm saying? So it was more of a survival thing. So they were sticking together based on survival. And so they didn't have a choice. Blacks didn't have a choice but to stick together back in those days. Because if they didn't, they already had so much opposition outside of the family back then. You know, with the Klan and everybody else trying to come up, even in the 60s, as it started to drift away and go away. Now, then you had a lot of the black men back then who was enlisted in the Army, you know, the armed services and stuff, going overseas, fighting in war. And the black women back then had to count on the black men's benefits,
right,
to provide food and provision and everything. They had to count on that. The majority of the black women back then either was not working or had jobs that wasn't paying enough for them to survive off of. So it was all based on survival. Either way you look at it, back then, the black women were staying with the black men based on survival. But nowadays, if you take a look at statistics, the average black woman is more educated than the average black man. So with more education comes a higher salary. And then you have I call it the nursing era, where you have a lot of black women that jumped into nursing, and based on supply and demand, nurses are making over $100K per year.
Yeah.
And travel nurses, some of them making like $200K or more.
Yeah, my ex-wife, she's a traveling nurse. Shout out to Grey's Anatomy. You know, that shit didn't kick off until after the Grey's Anatomy and Private Practice. I used to watch all that stuff for her. Then the nursing just took off after those shows.
Yep, and education. And then in incarceration. So remember, in the 1960s and 70s and stuff, that's when the end of the 70s and the 80s. And the 80s to the 90s, that's when really the drug industry really came into the urban community, and a lot of black men, the black incarceration rate for men got higher. And once that got higher, all of the black men, the majority of them was going to prison. So it forced the black women to have to fend for themselves. So the black women started getting educated, going back to school. Another thing helped that push and destroyed marriage is Section 8. Social services, because Section 8, mostly black women were eligible for Section 8.
And you couldn't have a man in the house.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, you couldn't have a man in the house.
Right, and it did two things. It pushed the man out of the house, okay, number one. So it brought the family, and it caused kids to live in disarray, because without a two-parent household, it's proven that crime is higher within the black community when there's a single parent in the house. And the black women on Section 8 only had to pay $20, $30 a month, when the rent was usually $500, $600 back then. But if she only got paid $30, $40 a month for rent, she don't need that man for provision anymore. So she can get cocky of knowing she don't need him for survival, because her rent is only $30.
Right.
Now she's working a part-time job, because she can't make too much money, because they would kick her off Section 8. So she's only working part-time. And all of the black women started going to school, because they had nothing but time to go to school with a cheap rent that didn't require them to work 40 to 80 hours a week. So a lot of the black women back then began to get educated. That's why the black women is far exceeding black men in education. That was the agenda. The agenda was a whole 20, 30-year plan to push the women up above the men financially, because studies show when black women make more money than a black man, the relationship ends.
I'm the boss.
Period.
Get your shit, get out. I'm the boss. Yeah.
Yep. Based on money. Based on money, because most black women look at black men as a man only based on his pockets. You could be a strong man, you could be a handyman, you could be the fixer up, or you could build the whole house from scratch or whatever. But if that black woman is making more salary than you, she tend to subconsciously look down on you as less of a man and not a man for her.
Right.
Not
And that's
masculine enough for
right.
her.
And that's interesting that we as men, we don't care about how much education you got, how much money you make. We looking for other, and being honest, men that are looking for wives are looking for way more than just that. Way more than just physical as well. A lot of women get it twisted. We're not looking for BBLs. You know, we don't care about that superficial shit. To be a wife, it comes with, you know, so much more than just the surface level things.
Right. We don't care about any of that. And you know, to touch upon that, it's proven that the higher up a woman goes, the less her chances are of landing a husband. Because when women go higher up with their income and everything, they tend to get so subconsciously cocky and masculine, mental masculine, I call it, until they don't even realize, wait a minute, I'm supposed to allow the man to be a man. My money doesn't make me the man. So studies show the higher educated a woman is and the more money she makes, the slimmer her chances of having a husband. She can have a lot of dudes that she sleep with,
right?
But not a husband.
Not a husband, exactly.
See, a lot of women got it twisted.
Yes,
it's an optical illusion going on out there because a lot of women, all these men be in my inbox. Let me go on ahead and pick one. But see, the problem, what they don't understand on social media, the men is in your inbox based upon what they see.
Mm-hmm.
Not based upon the woman you are. It's only based upon what they see. Because men, we're visual, physical beings. Most men, number one love languages are physical touch, quality time, or physical touch and something. If you look at our love languages, physical touch is up there on the top tier, the one or two. Physical touch.
Right.
You know, and you know, unless he's another type of man. But you know, most men, physical touch is way up there, one or two,
right?
Guaranteed. You know, some may be in the three, but it's in the three. I question it because if it's in number three or further down, then I think that man is being unrealistic with himself. But if he's being realistic, it's one or two. You know, because men's number one need is sex,
right?
And women's number one need is affection, love and affection. You know, women, their number one need is not sex, it's love and affection. Yeah, but and that's the problem, you know. One of the things is in the black community, a lot of I would say black men and women, they're uneducated when it comes to relationships.
Right.
Relationships start at home. Relationships move on to the school. And just like marriage, you know, even if you look at the Bible with marriage, in Genesis in the Bible with marriage, it say the man will leave his mother and father and cleave unto his wife. But it never say the woman leave her father. It only say the man leave his father. And the reason is the woman never leave her father. It's just a handoff, because the word father means Abba or daddy. They're all the same word, or a provider or a sustainer.
Or fatten
so
her.
When a woman leave her parent father, she goes into her relationship father, which is her husband. A husband is nothing but a father, but it's that close relationship or intimacy, loving father, right? Like her parent father. So all it is a handoff. That's why during weddings and tradition, the father is the one that hand his daughter off to the man, because the father, when she's living with her father is the protector, he's the provider, he's the sustainer. He makes sure she have food, clothes, right? Everything. He teaches daughter everything. So when he passes daughter on to her husband, the husband it's just a handoff.
Right.
He's still the provider, still the protector, still feeder, and still supposed to teach her. That's another problem with marriage nowadays. Women naturally and subconsciously desire a provider, a protector, and a teacher. If you're a man and your woman is more educated than you can't teach her anything. So it subconsciously turns her off in that area, even if she don't admit it. But women need a man that they can learn from, that they can be protected by and provided for. Right. And another thing, a lot of men mix up the word protection. They think protection means be the bodyguard.
Yeah,
but protection means guard her. Protection means guard her.
Catch a body.
If a woman needed protection like that, she can just go buy a gun.
Exactly.
And protect herself. Buy some pepper spray or a gun. But that protection means guard her heart. Meaning when she's not around, if somebody's talking about her, you stick up for her because you're there to guard her heart. But that's where a lot of dudes fall off at. They don't guard their woman's heart.
Right.
They expose them in certain ways and do certain things in which he feel insecure about or unprotected with.
Let me just give you some fun facts right quick. Before the introduction of welfare, marriages were up 10.9%. After the introduction of welfare, that means can't no dude be in the goddamn house, it declined 9.7%.
Mm-hmm. Yep, and that's right. Welfare, Section 8, child support, all family killers, food stamps, all family killers. Any entitlements that the government give out kill families.
Yes, they are.
And they kill families.
Yeah, me and my son, my oldest son, Mom, we sat down, we figured we wasn't going to be together. We don't need to have a middleman. She laid down the rules. These are the things I need you to do for our son. Once you renege on these, then I might have to step and see the man, but we never had a problem. He's 32 years old. I think if you're adult enough to sit down and say, hey, we're going to work our own problems out, but women, and I'm not bashing them, they get bitter, they get upset, they see you with another girl, they want to run the welfare, and they don't need child support, they don't even understand how that shit works. So if a man is paying $100 a week or whatever, let's just use that as a number, they split it. They take 50 and put it up for their retirement. This is real shit. You can look this up for the state's retirement, and then they take 50 and put it in the account for her. Next time he gets paid, they do the same thing. Now she got 100, then they send her off the check. They don't just, you know what I mean? Whatever it is, if it's 400 or 500, they break it down. They make sure they have. It's a big scam when you look at it. Big scam. Mm-hmm. Not only for blacks, but whites. I know white dudes out there feeling it too. Spanish is a big racket.
Yeah, it's a whole crooked family killing system, and it's sad because it's like, women do got to wake up and understand what's taking place, but then on that flip side, women look at men like, wait a minute, men got to wake up and figure it out too, because you have some men out there that's not doing what they're supposed to do. So it put a woman in a bind where she don't have no choice but to go to the system.
Yeah.
So it's both ways. But like you said, there's a lot of women that do take advantage of that system and make it worse by being bitter, just trying to make that man suffer, even though that man, is trying to be in the kid's life and everything. I witnessed that with a few people that I know. Just because he didn't want to be with her, they wanted to put him on child support, even though he was already overly taking care of his kid.
Right.
Those are our family killers, man.
Right.
Like,
and even when
all of that.
When I with my second, my son's mom, my second oldest son, I would do things for her. I'm paying I didn't make a lot of money. I think it was like they was taking like 180 or something like that. Every pay period, like every week they would take that out or whatever. So it was like 4 something or something like that. She would have the nerve to call me after she done got, the check and ask me for more money. I'm like, well, damn, what am I left with if I'm dumping it? What are you doing with the money that they're giving to you? That money is allocated. It's not for your hair. It's not for your nails. You know, unless everything is taken care of with my son, then you can use that money and do whatever you want to. But if he's lacking, that money should go towards what he needs. And she wasn't understanding that. We had to go back to court, and the judge told her the same thing. Nah, ma'am, this is Christmas, this is New Year, this birthday, this you that money is for him. This ain't for you to be doing this and that with. So, you know, a lot
Right.
of things need to be fixed with that child support system. I I hate even talking about it. I have such a disdain for that fucking system. It's crazy.
Right. Yeah, it's crazy. And see, and this another part to the system too. You know, the system is really doing the damage and causing division. If you look at it with social services and welfare and everything outside of the child support, just looking at the welfare side of it, it's kind of like, how can you blame the woman? Because you know, we know the women did foul stuff that they shouldn't have, but outside of that, on the natural end of the welfare social service doing its normal bid
Right.
and Section 8, the woman kind of have to lean towards the man for some additional money, even though it's not a right to the man. Because if you look at social services in Section 8, she was only able to make a certain amount of money. And the certain amount of money that women was able to work and make, that still probably wasn't enough for them to do the things that they wanted to do as far as self-care. You know, like women want their nails done, hair done, and if a woman is usually getting her hair done, her nails done, and stuff like that, then she get pregnant, have a baby. Now she picked up responsibilities. Now she's on social services, so she can't work a certain job making a certain type of money because she would get cut off of Section 8 social services.
Right.
So she had to stay within that low budget poverty level in order to stay on social services or Section 8. And women like security. Women like to be provided for, protected for, and they need security. So for some women, social service, Section 8, child support, they had to protect that. If they was in more in protection mode, if the man is no longer in the house, it forced the woman to go into protection mode.
Right.
Do whatever it takes to protect me and my baby.
Right.
I can't count on him, so I can count on social services in Section 8. So I got to do whatever I have to do to keep these things. So I got to be cautious at these jobs. And some of them will go work an under the table job to work up under the system. And if that didn't give them enough money, which majority of the time it probably didn't, to
Right.
get hair done and nails done, those things that they used to getting done outside of the normal provision like food and clothes, then they want to come back at you because they feel like, wait a minute, he's the one that got me stuck with this baby, so it's only right that he do this. So it's like it turned man and women into warring against each other. System.
Right. And we all know finances is a big part of like divorce, people, you know, fights in the household, stuff like that. Those finances, you know, do you think the man need to have his finances super correct before he even think about getting married? What you think about that?
Oh, most definitely. See, marriage, what a lot of people don't understand. Okay, so just like you have the financial institution, which is the banking system, before you can go into the financial institution, which is called a bank or a credit union, you have to first have money.
Right.
In order to go into that institution. Once you have money coming in, now you can walk into a financial institution and become a part of it. Marriage is also an institution. A lot of people look at marriage as just the two people. The two people are just two people who stepping into the institution of marriage. Marriage is an institution. Before you can go into that institution, you got to have your stuff in order.
Right.
If you don't have your finances in order, you cannot walk into the institution of marriage, because marriage is an office and an institution that two individuals are deciding to commit to.
Right.
And in order to have a wife or be in a marriage or be a husband, the word husband means provider, sustainer. So if you're not a provider or a sustainer before you meet her, there's no need for you to meet her. You can't. It's like it's a waste of time. It's like going to school with no books.
Right.
You know, you can't walk in class and just have a pen and a pad and think you're gonna get,
What
super
about
A's in class.
what about if y'all in the struggle together? Y'all both broke and dusty. You think that'll
Y'all
work?
don't qualify. If y'all both broke and dusty, neither one of y'all qualify for marriage. The woman before she even can become a bride, before she can become a bride, she has to first be trained to be a bride. And the problem with a lot of people, just touching up on the Black community, the problem with the Black community is a lot of these women who turn into wives came from a family in which there was no marriage institution. So
Right.
they never knew what it meant to be married. They don't even know what marriage is because their parents wasn't.
Right. Exactly.
So you got two people who just following tradition. Oh, marriage mean if he loved me, I love him, then we should be together for the rest of our life. That's not what marriage is.
No.
Marriage is an institution. Marriage is something that you have to be qualified for and trained for. If you're not qualified and trained, you won't survive marriage. It's just like going into the army. You have to go through basic training, and you got to learn to shoot the gun before you can be a sniper.
And then you got to go to school after that, learn how to be a soldier, learn your job after basic training. Donald said, facts, when government got involved in marriage, it caused all kinds of issues. He said that in the comments.
That's true. That's true. So there's two types of government. And I know some people don't believe in God or whatever, but even for the people who don't believe in God, let's just look at it this way, right? According to the Bible, marriage is an institution.
Right.
And when before these two people step into that institution, they first have to have a basic foundation of life. A man should already be walking in his purpose before he finds his wife.
Ooh.
If a man is not walking in his purpose and he don't know his purpose and he find a woman and marry her, she don't have nothing to follow. See, a lot of men be like, oh, I'm the head of the house. I'm the leader. If you're the leader and you're not leading anything, what does she have to follow? That's why a lot of women can't submit to nothing. And then, the problem is a lot of these marriages, what I've been seeing is you have a man who don't have a vision.
Lena, call in.
Who don't have a vision. And then when you got two people with no vision, that brings division. You got the blind leading the blind. You got, I always say it like this, and Dr. Miles Monroe taught me this. It's called, if a man doesn't have a vision, he's a nobody.
Right.
If a woman doesn't have a vision, she's a nobody. So if both of these nobodies get together, then nobody just married nobody. So you have nobody in the marriage. And that's why the marriage ends, because you got two nobodies. So nobody married nobody. So that's why the marriage crumbles and falls apart. You got to have a purpose in life before you can even be married, and that's a whole nother different subject.
Yeah, that's a whole nother.
The average man walking around on earth don't even know his purpose.
Don't even know.
That's why he's confused.
Don't even know
and lost. And that's another breather of domestic violence. When you get a man and a woman together, and the man don't have a vision, the woman automatically gonna get frustrated because it's natural for a woman to submit and follow her man's lead. But if he don't have nothing for her to follow and he's not leading in anything, then she's confused. And then she gets frustrated. And now he's getting frustrated because she's acting masculine, because if he don't have a vision, he don't have nothing for her to follow, she's gonna try and create a vision of her own to follow herself. She's trying to follow what she creates. And in doing that, that's her creating something. And now he's looking at her like, oh, dang, she working, making more money than me. Oh, she opened up a business. But that's something he was supposed to already have before he met her. He already should have been in his work, making money, providing, or operating a business, making money, and providing. But since you don't have neither of those, she got to create something herself, because it's natural for her to chase after that. And since she can't get it in her man, if she don't want to cheat on him, she's going to create it herself.
Let me read this. Let me cut you off. Let me read this comment from Lena. She said, marriage is a biblical institution. That institution won't work when you trying to do it without God. She said most don't even open the Bible to see how it's supposed to be done, or just outright what she said, rejects what's there.
Okay, so like you said, it's true. Marriage is a biblical institution, I'll say this to her, and I asked her this question. Christianity, right? So I was born and raised a Christian.
Mm-hmm.
We was calling ourselves Christians and everything. Now I don't label myself as a Christian. Christian, what they say means Christ-like.
Right.
I am Christ-like, but I don't like to use the word Christian. I like to use the word kingdom citizen, because in the Bible, if you look at what Jesus said, he said the kingdom of God. He said, seek first the kingdom of God. He didn't say seek Christianity, Baptist or Pentecostal or non-denominational. He said seek the kingdom of God. So to get back to what she was saying, marriage is a biblical institution. The Bible is a kingdom written Bible. The problem with a lot of people in America who don't understand marriage and don't truly understand the Bible, they don't understand what a kingdom is. If Jesus says seek first the kingdom, in the whole entire Bible, what he's telling the Christians or all of the people who believe in it is to seek the kingdom. But the problem is a lot of these people don't know how to seek a kingdom, because America is a democracy, not a kingdom. America is a democratic society. In a democratic society, you have the president, you have Congress. People could go out and vote. If we don't like something, we just go protest and vote against it. But in a kingdom, there's a king who writes a decree. And when the king writes a decree, you can't vote against it. You can't protest it. Once a king seals something with his ring, with his sign and signature into law, that's law. You cannot change it. Only the king can. So the biblical institution of marriage is a kingdom principled marriage, meaning in this marriage with these rules, you cannot break them. I don't care if you feel like you no longer happy. Most women, the reason why I ended my marriage is I was no longer happy. Or the number one reason America, the democratic society, put for divorce nowadays is irreconcilable differences, which is a bunch of made up baloney.
Right.
In a kingdom, in the Bible institution of marriage, you can't get a divorce unless they commit adultery or die. If a person don't die or commit adultery, you are illegally getting a divorce. And here's the problem in America. If you look at it, right, look at statistics, and the numbers are worse now, but the average marriage, there's a 51% chance that it's going to end in divorce in America. The average marriage, 51% chance. The day y'all get married, it's a 51% chance that it's going to end in a divorce in America. The average marriage, 51%. So it's like tossing a coin as soon as you get married. And your second marriage, it's a 75% chance that it's going to end in divorce. The third marriage is a 93% chance that it's going to end in divorce.
I have the research here. You're on point, my brother.
If you get married after the third marriage, you might have to say you marrying just a divorce.
That's
because it is what it is. So, but the reason is because in America, we're in a democratic society. It's a democracy, not a kingdomship in America. Right. But the Bible is written off kingdom principles. And a lot of people in America don't understand. So in a kingdom, we don't drive on the same side of the car that we drive in America.
Right.
If you go to Jamaica, the way they drive overseas is still like kingdom, because a lot of them is under the Britain kingdom.
Right.
The British kingdom used to run most of those islands over there. It was run by a kingdom.
Mm-hmm.
Great Britain, which was a kingdom. And when they had the kings, even in Africa, wherever you went where there was a king, there was no Congress or none of that stuff. In a kingdom, there's only a parliament. But the parliament can't change rules. The only person can make and change rules is the king. That's by sending a decree, what was called a decree.
Right.
But we got away from that and turned America into democracy. And just to touch up on that also, that's another reason why there's a lot of crime in America. So in a kingdom, just like the kingdom of God, in a kingdom, everybody owns everything.
Right.
The king owns everything. So everybody is equal. and everybody owns everything. So right now, if America was a kingdom, we all would be riding around in Benzes, G-Wagons, BMWs, and Bentleys. All of us will own one.
Right.
So there's no need to rob your brother for what he got, because you can get the same thing he got in a kingdom. The same money that your brother got in a kingdom, you can have that money. So you would be a fool to rob somebody for everything that you already own and can get. But America is a democracy where the rich people are the 1% to 3%, and the rest of the people are barely making it or poor. So that's why right. You have the crime and the robbery. But a lot of people don't understand that the Bible is written off kingdom principles, not democracy. So she's right. Make long story short, it is our biblical institution. Even for the people who live in the Bible, if they look at the difference between a democracy and a kingdom, they'll understand, wait a minute. If this was a kingdom, all of these people running around here and committing crimes and divorcing and all that, they won't be doing it, because in a kingdom, if you commit a crime, they could chop you. They just cut your head off.
Right.
Guillotine. You're done. There's no negotiating. There's no going before the judge.
Right.
It's only the king. That's it. The king sets the rules. So whatever the king says goes. So in America and marriage, there's too many opportunities to get out of the marriage. And before, years back, I forgot exactly what year it is, when they changed the marital laws in America to where you can just walk out of it for irreconcilable differences. Way back, it was a crime. And matter of fact, it's still in the law books till this day, but nobody never wanted to try this. And I gotta admit it. when my ex-wife, she cheated on me and did what she did, I was about to be petty and take it all the way to the New York Supreme Court and force. I was gonna force it to charge her with the crime of adultery, just to set an example, for everyone else in the country. But I said, man, I'm not about to waste $20,000-$30,000 just to set an example for other people. Right. But I really was gonna be petty and do that. There is which you can file divorce charges against whoever cheated on you. But, we know it won't really go anywhere in America, but it's still a law on books.
Right.
Adultery is a crime. It's not like they'll be time for it, but it's still a crime. But if you look way back, adultery wasn't something a person can just get away with. But America, they made that law easy, for the higher ups. The higher ups wanted to sleep around and do other things. So they had to relax the divorce laws in America. And once they relaxed the laws, it opened the floodgates for people to be like, oh, if I cheat on my wife, I don't get in trouble, so I can just cheat. It made it easy to cheat.
Right. Donald got some good comments. Donald, hit the link and come on. Let me just play devil's advocate for a minute. I was married for 10 years. And when you don't come from a background of seeing your parents married, my mom was with my stepdad, but my stepdad wasn't hands-on. He wasn't like, here, come here, let me show you this. He just did shit. Shout out to him. I love him to death. So everything I learned about being married was through trial and error, bro. Like hanging out with my single friends and shit. If you married, you don't got no business coming home 7 a.m, 5 a.m. And I'm thinking, with my arrogance, I'm thinking, you ain't finna give me no curfew. But I'm not respecting the marriage because I never was married before. Not using it as an excuse, but I didn't know how to be a husband. So I was learning how to be a husband. And eventually I got it. But by that time, it was too late. You know what I'm saying? We got a divorce, but we lasted for 10 years. It was good 10 years, but the first 5 was rough. And they said, if you could make 5, you could stay alive. So I had to kind of learn. I think that's the problem with a lot of marriages too. Everybody wants this big wedding and, they want to show off everybody else, but it's work. You just can't give up after. And, she cheated. I cheated. We went to counseling. We made things work. We tried to make things work for as long as we can, but you have to at least try. Like you said, people just walking out, oh, I don't like the way her breath smells in the morning, I'm fucking finna get a divorce. No, man, you made this commitment and you gotta stick with this commitment. And I'm just gonna give you this little bit of information right here. If you separate marriages by race, listen to these numbers. This is crazy. 54% of white people are married compared to only 31% of blacks. Jeez.
I'll touch up on that before I go back to the other one. And then culture. So blacks that were born in America through the slave trade and everything, lost culture. White people, they have their Italian culture, they have their Irish culture. They still not put beef.
Oh, your phone breaking up a little bit.
Oh, can you hear me?
Now I hear you. Yeah.
Yeah. So white people have a culture. Black people, we don't have a culture. White people got the Italian culture, the Irish culture, Scottish culture. And they have culture behind them. The black people born in America through the slave trade, we're the only ones who really have what I call a lost culture. Dominicans coming over here and have a culture. The Hispanics have a culture. The Haitians, the Africans, they all have a culture. But the blacks that was born in America, we really don't know our culture. And that's one of the biggest problems. So, as far as the divorce rate with us and the whites, if you look at white people, they come together when it comes to marriage and anything. All other races come together. The only race that really don't come together is the black race.
We hate to see each other shining, brother.
Mm-hmm. White people support one another. When it's time for the wedding, listen, Sue and John and all of them could be hating one another, but when it comes time for the wedding, they'll set aside how they feel. They'll come together and they'll bring gifts and they'll do everything. 3 families will live in the same house and support one another. Even though they can't stand each other, they still live in the same house, support one another. Blacks, they can't do that. The first thing black people say is, I need my space.
Mm-hmm.
I can't live with him. I need my space. I can't live with her. I need my space. Every other race, you find 6 families piled up in the house. And if you take a look at that, if you got 3 families in a house and the mortgage is $2,500, and you split it between 3 families, that's $800 and some change a piece.
Yeah.
You understand what I'm saying? But black people will go in there by ourselves and spend $2,500 and only have a couch and an air mattress.
Yeah.
But those people, they'll come together, 3 people, and the whole house will be furnished. Their credit will be good. Their cars will be paid off in a few years. And the other 2 couples will have enough money to buy their own house after 3 to 5 years. Then they'll move out into their own house and raise their family. We know real estate is one of the number 1 ways to create generational wealth outside of life insurance policies and stuff. And blacks, that's where we fall. So as far as the marital race, it's proven that when a person lives inside of a home, their marriage is more concrete than a person who lives inside just an apartment.
Right.
Who never had that exposure to just a home. And if you look at the suburbs, the majority of the white people, they own their homes in the suburbs already. So they're spaced out, away from people, everything. But black people were piled up in the projects and in the hood. So that's a problem. When you, it's like, that's why they call a project a project. When you put people too close to one another, it creates problems because you have personality clashes. That goes for blacks, whites, any race. If you pile people up, it creates personality clashes, which cause people to have conflict, and that cause marriages to end. And black people are the ones who was forced into living congested with one another in the ghettos. So that's another contributing factor to divorce rates. Incarceration of the black man, that's a contributing factor to divorce rates. Education, salary, and then they threw in the Hollywood thing in the black community. All of our black women got to get their hair done, nails done to look like the movie stars. They need Gucci and Louis bags, and the average income for the black man in the urban community is only around $43,000 a year.
Correct.
And $43,000 a year is really not enough to sustain a household of 2 to 3 people.
Right.
So that forced the woman to have to work also. And a lot of the women, like I was telling you earlier, they're more educated than the average black man, because the average black man in the urban community face so much opposition. It's hard for the average black man to be highly educated.
Right.
Like, look at us. Look where we're at. We was born in the hood. Like me, I'm just speaking of myself. In Fight Square Projects and Tremont, everywhere I lived in the hood, when I come out the house, just walk to the corner store, I'm passing a couple of drug houses.
Mm-hmm.
I'm walking by a couple of people who got guns on them. Now, I got to carry a gun because some of the people, my people beefing with, got a gun.
Mm-hmm.
Now, if I get caught with the gun, now I got a felony. Now, when I come home from jail, I only can get certain jobs. And you understand what I'm saying? I mean, that happened to me. I escaped that. I thank God I escaped where I don't have no felonies or any of that stuff. But I could have. There's plenty of times I had illegal guns on me. I just, by the grace of God, got away with it.
Yeah.
You know?
There
but
you go.
The black man faced so much opposition. And our black women, they don't really see it that way because at the end of the day, their nature is to want somebody who provides for them, protects them, nurtures them, affection, and love.
Right.
And a lot of the black men never was showed love. So they don't even know what love is. So if they don't know what love is, how can they show love to their woman or their wife?
Right.
So it's a house of a bunch of confusion that caused divorce within the black family. It's so many different factors: child support, social services, Section 8, crime,
Mm-hmm.
trauma. Even a black man who never committed a crime in the hood, he probably saw so many things happen until he's carrying trauma that subconsciously is affecting him with his woman. And the average black man don't even realize how the trauma is affecting them in their relationship until it's too late.
Right.
You know, and like you said, like a lot of black men don't come from families where they was taught how to be husbands.
Or even seen how, seen how,
Right. So they get in relationships and just wink it.
Yeah.
Love.
Yeah.
And that's a recipe for a failed marriage. And the same thing with women. A lot of women was not raised. If you go on social media, this is something I wanted to do too. I said I'll wait. But if you go on social media and you ask this question, all black women, be real, which one of y'all was actually raised and trained to be a wife? If they be realistic, out of every 100 black women, we probably have one or two.
Yeah, no.
Trained to be a wife.
Unlike the Mexican women and the Spanish women, they train from birth, brother, how to be wives. Mm-hmm. Asian women. I'm not saying be docile. I think black women think that being submissive mean you gotta kiss his ass and bow down to him. No, that's not what he mean. I watched Married at First Sight. Being submissive to your husband just mean being agreeable.
Exactly.
Can you be agreeable with your damn husband? We don't want to be arguing and fighting all the time. And what he say, his word is law, even if you don't like it. Because 9 times out of 10, he's working for the best interest of the marriage. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, see, look, and not to cut you off, but that's the problem. See, here's where the problem kicking at. And social media is assisting with the problem. For all of the black women who got hurt by a black man in their marriage, they're telling all of the other women, you can't trust no nigga, you can't trust no man, you can't trust them. So you got a lot of the other women who don't want to be submissive with their husband because they feel some type of way. I'm not about to be submissive to you. Hey. What if you cheat? What if you this? What if you that?
Hey, Alina, she said we about to piss some women off using that word submissive.
Oh, yeah. Mm-hmm. Because we'll piss the women off. And ladies, any of you ladies that's listening to this, if you don't agree with the word submissive,
stay single.
You don't agree with having a child. You don't agree with having a kid because your kids are to be submissive.
Yes.
And submissive don't mean you walk on your kids' necks. It just means that you're a parent, and you know what's best for your child, so you're gonna tell them. It's the same thing as your man. See, the man is the head of the house, and the mother is the head of the kids. If you're allowing your man to be the head of the house, see, here's another problem with men and women where they mix this up, where they mix up head of the house.
Okay.
Head of the house don't mean the top of the house. Head of the house actually mean the bottom. If you take a look at a house and the way a house is built, they lay the foundation first. So the man being the head of the house means the man is the foundation. He's the bottom. He's what's holding up the whole house. That don't mean he's above you and he can put his foot on your neck, on your head. That's not what it means. It actually means he's on the bottom, meaning He holds you up as a woman. He holds the kids up, and he's holding the whole entire house up. He's the support system of the entire house, the foundation. That's what had me. And a woman submitting to her man means, like you said, a woman agreeing with her man, backing her man up.
That's it. That's it. Supporting them. That's it. Yeah.
You know, if you know, and I always tell women this. In a relationship, it's not tug of war. You're on the same side of the rope, pulling against the outside forces together. But when you don't be submissive, you walk on the other side of the rope and outside while your man is in the house and you pulling him and he's pulling you because you disagreeing with him. You're not submissive. If you're not submissive with your man, it's like you at war against him.
Right.
Because he can't accomplish his task and go after his vision to help y'all come up if you pulling them down.
Right.
It just won't work.
But to be fair,
women not to marry.
Yeah, but to be fair, some of these goofies, they can't be submissive to some of these goofies. I see a lot of dudes. I'm like, man, listen, I see why your woman is the head of the household. You're a fucking goofy. I wouldn't be submissive to you neither. Sitting around playing PlayStation all day, driving her car, dropping her off to work, you know, not if she work, if you're not even working for whatever the reason is, at least let her come home to a fucking hot meal, house clean. You know, you played your part, but a lot of these dudes, man, sorry as fuck. And I got a lot of friends like that or associates like that. You know, I'm like,
well, you know what? Yeah, you know what? So you're right. It is a lot of dudes like this. But this is what I say. This is what I challenge women all the time. And here's the reason. If you look at a lot of my Facebook posts, if you go back years back, I was challenging men. And I thought about it. I was like, yo, I'm on the wrong side. I'm challenging men, wasting my time. I said, no, I'm supposed to be challenging the woman. Here's why. The problem wasn't with the men. The problem was with the women allowing the men. So I said, oh, I got to go challenge these women. And in saying that, I challenged the women. If you're a woman, that's why I put up a post, you know, a few days, a week, whatever, on Facebook talking about, you know, if you on here, I said, this the look I give to people who's going to be complaining about the same thing next year. Because you have a lot of women complaining about, oh, these dudes are sorry. He just be home playing. But honey, you're allowing it. You have the power to not be with a man like that, to not allow that in your life. As women keep allowing these type of dudes, it's birthing more of them. And a lot of the women is raising some just like that. Listen, it's Christmas time, right? If you go to Walmart, ask a Walmart person at the cash register or whatever, all right, so out of all of the people coming through here and buying PlayStation 5s and all that, is it mostly men or mostly women? And they'll probably tell you, oh, it's about 50. I challenge a lot of women on buying PlayStations for their kids. PlayStation, because most of the kids play Grand Theft Auto,
right,
which teach you how to cheat on women, treat women wrong, how to steal cars. Like they got the Kia Boys. I say, yo, the Kia Boy burst from the Grand Theft Auto PlayStation. Because if you think about it, the video game teach a lot of these dudes. I'm not saying all dudes turn out like that who play video games.
Right.
But you got a lot of these dudes who don't have the mental capacity, or a lot of them don't have the what's the word for it? I can't even think of it. Emotional intelligence. A lot of dudes don't have emotional intelligence, so they allow certain emotional things to get to them and anger things. I don't know. They just have anger issues and all types of problems from video games and stuff like that because they didn't have the mental capacity to separate it from reality.
Right.
So I don't know, but I challenge women. If you tired of men like this, you don't have to deal with it. Because if a man is sitting on your couch playing the game all day, it's because you allowed that. And you didn't marry him and then 2 years after now he all of a sudden want to be a gamer. No, the dude been a gamer. When you met him, the first time you met him and y'all had sex at his apartment at your place, whatever, he was already playing the video game. You already saw the red flag. You saw it, but you still wanted to get involved with him because
she bought the console.
You bought the console. You was doing something to keep your man. And look, and not only that, that. You saw all of those red flags in this dude, but women naturally, subconsciously feel like they can change him.
Yeah.
One thing I always tell women, if you have to change a man, then you need to change your man. Because you can't change a man. A man only can change if he desired to be changed. But you have women trying to change men. A man can change a woman, but a woman can't change a man.
Right.
It takes that man to want change. But a lot of women be like, oh yeah, I know he was with such and such, but with me, I'm not having that. Yeah, okay.
Yeah.
As soon as that man get with you and that manly power come over you, you're gonna be willing to compromise.
That's right.
Yeah, I know. He didn't hit me. It was the cabinet. He didn't mean it. He said he loved me. He just opened the cabinet real fast in front of me because he was mad at me. But he really didn't mean to hit me with the cabinet.
Yeah. So my brother, I appreciate you calling in. Appreciate your opinion, your thoughts on this topic. And man, you're welcome back anytime. I'll probably have you on when I'm gonna do something with Howard Eagle on education coming up in January. That's gonna be deep. You should call in for that one.
Definitely,
and
man.
I'll keep you
just
posted.
Remind me, man. I'll jump on into it, man.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, so man, I got 2 books in the making. One of my
Okay.
books been finished. I've been procrastinating with that because I'm working on this other project. So I got one book, quotes, questions, suggestions. That's gonna hit the market this year. And my other book, Troubles of the Heart. Troubles of the Heart is based on a lot of things I post on Facebook, relationships and all of that. And I'm going to be going around teaching on relationships. I'm also a certified relationship coach.
Okay.
Certified relationship mentor. I got all that out the way after my divorce in 2019.
Okay.
I started studying relationships. So yeah, man, get me on.
What's your social media handles if people are trying to reach out to you for any type of relationship advice or anything like that?
Yeah, so I'm mainly on Facebook right now. All of the other platforms I'm gonna really hit hard once my books come out.
Okay.
But I'm on Facebook. Facebook is Damon Iverson. Look like Damon Iverson. DAMON Iverson. Right on Facebook.
All right, got you, brother. Appreciate you. Love is love, man. Thank you for coming through.
No doubt, man. One love.
All right, peace.
All right, peace.
Yo, good conversation. Good conversation. Good conversation. Who was this right here? I'm gonna call y'all back. Let me see. Who was that? From who?
To accept, press 1. To send a voicemail.
Let me call them. I'm calling whoever this is. I'm calling you back. So get ready.
Your call has been forwarded to an automatic voice message.
Oh man, who was that?
8520.
Whoa. Good conversation. Caller, call back in. I want to get your thoughts on this before I wrap it up and get done. Good conversation. We're talking about, is marriage worth it? I forgot to ask him the question. Is it worth it? To me, yes. To me, yes. I believe it is. I believe marriage is definitely worth it, especially if you find the right person that's going to allow you to be free. And when I say free, I don't mean free to fuck off and go. Just if you want to go somewhere and set up a podcast, you should be able to at least give me an hour to be able to go do that. An hour, of time away from you coddling me. You know what I mean? That should be fine. Same with her. She want to go work out or whatever. Let her go work out. You know what I mean? You don't have to be together. Just give each other space. But marriage is a beautiful thing, especially when 2 things work. And I pray for everybody. Marriage, I send in good vibes, blessings. Everybody that's engaged for the new year. Everybody that wants to get married and actively dating with a purpose, not just out here slanging BBC or slanging, that period. Peace. I appreciate you coming through. That was, you in the comments. I wish you could have called in. Marriage is worth it when done right. Absolutely. We've been going for like an hour and 23 minutes. I know it's Friday. Everybody's probably going out, going to chill, whatever, but join me tomorrow. We're going to be talking about hip hop from a female perspective. All the ladies call in. Don't forget to hit the like button. You could hit the super chat button. If you want to support this channel, the Cash App is running across the screen right now. Same as the channel, No Anonymity TV. Everything goes to making the podcast better, making the show better. And I appreciate y'all all. And one love till next time. Peace.